Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, this is the little series I'm doing right now. What makes your sign this? And that's when, right now, we're doing the Sun and Mercury planetary alignments where you can be 3 different versions of this sign. And we're doing that for each and every sign. And right now, we're at Sagittarius. Yeah, we're at Sagittarius right now. So right now, this segment is what makes Sagittarius philosophers. Now, let's talk about Sagittarius. Sagittarius is mutable fire. Mutable fire. Mutable is being changeable and being adaptable to its own or others' ways, and fire represents the seeing and the feelings. So it's they like to see their feelings, and they like to have their own. They see things the way they see, and they see their feelings. So feelings doesn't have a look to it. So anytime you give your feelings a look or a place or a location, it becomes a vision. And visions, fire signs like to express what they see, express their visions, express the way they feel, express how they see things. You know what I'm saying? So what happens here, you have mutable. It see how other people see things and how other people feel about things, and able to come with a broad perspective of how to see and feel about things in general. This is what makes them changeable and adaptable. And that goes for all mutable signs. Same way Gemini is mutable thinking and communication. Mutable Earth is thinking and practicality, which is Virgo. You know what I'm saying? And mutable water is being adaptable and changeable to the emotions and feelings. You know what I'm saying? And then you have mutable fire, the being adaptable and changeable to the way you see things and the feelings. So right here, off the bat, this would make them natural philosophers, natural students, natural teachers. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't always have to do with school, but it's always have the earth snake pit itself is a learning process. So Sagittarius understand that the most. So they know we need to experience this in order to gain enough knowledge and wisdom to know how to align themselves with the transition or the transformation or the time shift or wherever we're going from point A to point B to point C. Those little transitions, we need to have wisdom and knowledge of the previous in order to know how to accommodate ourselves for the future, in order to have a relaxing and beneficial present. You know what I'm saying? So right here, that's what Jupiter represents. But Sagittarius, what makes Sagittarius philosophers? Now you have 3 versions of Sagittarius philosophers. Now you have the life philosopher. That would be Mercury and Sagittariuses. Then you have the emotional philosopher, which that would be Mercury and Scorpio Sagittarius. Then you have the practical philosopher, what would be the Mercury and Capricorn Sagittariuses, because we know Mercury can only be in 3 places when it comes to Sagittariuses. So this is what makes Sagittarius philosophers and the 3 versions of them. So let's start off with the life philosopher. If you have Mercury in Sagittarius, now Mercury don't like to be here. You know what I'm saying, off the bat. Because when it's time to analyze and when it's time to analyze and create. Not analyze and create, but when it's time to analyze and think and communicate about logical things and things that we can logically talk about, it can't really express the meaning behind it, because we really don't know what's the meaning behind it. The meaning could just be an idea, a spiritual nature or whatever like that, but it's not even in this realm. So Mercury hates to be in that kind of stuff. It's the kid, it's not the grandpa or anything like that. So it wants to do crossword puzzles. It don't want to know where crossword puzzles came from. You know what I'm saying? It don't want to have the experience of already doing a bunch of 1,000 crossword puzzles already. It want to do each one to have fun with it right now. So when Mercury is in Sagittarius, that's why it doesn't like to be here, but this is what happens. This is what makes the life philosopher Sagittarian. So what happens here is you take the thinking and the communication and place that in the same thing that the sun is doing, which is your actions, the way you act. And if the way you act is Sagittarian-like, we just described that as mutable fire. So right here, now you got your mind on that. The way you think you should be looking at the broad perspective. You think you should be seeing how you feel and seeing how other people feel. You think you should be expressing how you feel at times. You think you should be, you know what I'm saying, be optimistic, be upbeat. You think about these things. You think about looking always to the higher point and not looking down. You know what I'm saying? Always looking towards the higher goal, looking optimistic, looking up. So these are things you think about. So when you think it and when you put that into action, your actions and the way you act is already doing this. You act like you the type of person who understands other people's ways of seeing things, other people's ways of feeling about things, having a upbeat expression and feeling about yourself. So when you're thinking about that now, you like to be happy with expressing life. So now you like to think about life, think about thinking about life experiences and things like that, and gaining wisdom and knowledge from it. So everything you experience in life, you like to gain knowledge and wisdom from. You like to extract some type of other experience out of it. You like to make metaphors. You like to say, I experienced this for a reason because of this, and this gave me, if I didn't have did that, I wouldn't have learned this, you know what I'm saying, and put meaning behind this. So that's what Mercury, and then you're going to try to come with some type of logical abstract thought about it by Mercury being in Sagittarius also. So now you're going to come up with a philosophical view about it. These are things your mind going to think about. So you're going to be like, okay, when I'm always in a situation like that, things always play out like this. This is how you try to put it in the left brain now, in the actual direction in this realm now. You know what I'm saying? So if I always walk down that path, it's going to be good like that. This what makes the superstitious Sagittarius. This what makes the heavy religious Sagittarius the ones that don't know how to change religions, because they may have been brought up a certain way. So now they build all these expressions about that one specific way. So when other people try to tell them other outlooks and other outviews, they like to understand it, but they understand it like, okay, it's good for you to express that and it's good for me to express this, and we can both live like that. They're not too much bent on trying to learn yours and just don't have one at all like the other ones. But we're gonna break into that. But look, these Mercuries and Sagittarius is upbeat about life in general, and they just like to experience. So whatever they're experiencing, they like to gain wisdom from that. They're not too much on trying to experience everything as a broad perspective, as it being a broad perspective. They like to understand things as there is a broad perspective, and this is my place in the broad perspective. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the Mercury and Sagittarians work. You know what I'm saying? Because they like to come up with a logical contribution to what's actually they're experiencing, and with the experiences that they're going through now, so and the things that they feel and how they see things, and they want to come up with a logical attribution to it. So a lot of times they may come across as preachy or teachy, but it's just because they're trying to, that's how they figure it out for themselves, by actually expressing and talking about what they know. That's how they start to learn about what they actually know. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, but if you're Sagittarius with a Mercury and Sagittarius, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's like you can know about something, but you never knew how much you knew about it till you started expressing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, then it's like, damn, oh yeah, I didn't know all that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, now, that's the life philosopher Sagittarius. Now, you have the emotional philosopher Sagittarius, which if your Mercury is in Scorpio. So now, what is Scorpio? Scorpio is fixed water, being fixated on its own emotion and feelings. Now you have two filler signs together, because now your sun, the way you act, is feeling in ways, but it's trying to see the feelings for what it is, and then want to know, could it express the way it feel, or is it a time to press down the way I feel? Now Mercury right here is the thinking and the communication, so you have that in fixed water. So it's being fixated on its own way of the feelings and emotions. So a lot of times you just think and analyze your feelings and emotions, and analyze how you feel about things, and analyze your emotions around it, right? And what actually is, that a good emotion or a bad emotion? And these are things you think about. Then your sun sign is going to play this into action. It's going to actually express the way you think. So you're gonna express wisdom. You're gonna express emotions. You're gonna express the way you feel, like on a deep level. Like you're gonna express, because your actions is already feeling and seeing ways a certain way, and it's trying to see other people's ways. But you're thinking, your mind and the way you thinking and analyze it, you're thinking about the people's emotions around these views. You're thinking that people's, the way they feel about these views. So when it comes time to it get filtered through your sun sign, you start to express it in a way that connect to people emotionally. It connect and make people feel a certain way, so it can become inspirational. You know what I'm saying? It could become inspirational, and it could become very you can attach yourself to someone emotionally to the point that they'll never forget the words you said. They'll never forget the wisdom you told them. They'll never forget what they learned from you, because you gave it such an emotional backing to it. You know what I'm saying? And whatever you was kicking sounded informative. Sounded like it sounded like someone needed to learn that, because you're carrying that energy, and that's the way you act. You act like you kind of experienced, or you know what's going on in this life, and you're able to tell somebody else. And then when your Mercury comes in to fix water, you're able to uplift someone else out of that. You can see when someone else is in a rut, and you're able to give them an expression to lift them up out of that. You know what I'm saying? Give them some type of wisdom. Give them some type of inspiration. Give them some type of courage on their own talent. You know what I'm saying? Give them some type of you help them. You give their emotional awareness spirituality. You give their emotions idea, because the spiritual realm is the space realm, the idea realm, the thought realm. You know what I'm saying? The room of opportunity. The soul realm is the emotion, the feelings, and the fluid realm. You know what I'm saying? And then the physical realm is the solid, the matter, you know what I'm saying, and the time and the growth. I mean, not the time, but you know what I'm saying, the growth within it. So what happens here is you take the emotions and the feelings, and you give them a broad perspective on like your actions is to give a person a broad perspective on their emotions and their feelings. So a lot of times you uplift people, or if you're a negative Sagittarius, you may just add on to the pressure and make a person feel even worse about a situation, to the point that you make them actually want to express how they really feel, even if it's unwarranted, even if they're trying to kill somebody. You might make them, these Mercury and Scorpio Sagittarius may make somebody kill somebody else just to see if that person would do it, and you'll give them a reason why they should do it, and give them a reason why if they don't do it is because of this and that and all that shit. So they don't listen to them ones, but you got the positive ones that give you meanings and reasons behind why you shouldn't do something. And that's the deep, the emotional philosopher when it comes to the Mercury being a Scorpio. These people can give you wisdom and knowledge on why not to feel a certain way, or why you should feel a certain way about something. You know what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the practical philosopher, that's Sagittarius is with Mercury and Capricorn. Now, with Mercury, you're taking the way you think and communicate and placing it into cardinal Earth. Now, cardinal is initiating and creating new, and when we talk about Earth, that's the thinking and the practicality. So right here, you're thinking of practical ways all the time. Like you're thinking of initiating and creating new ways to think, and new common sense, and new practical ways to do things all the time. So when it gets filtered through your actions, which is your sun, the way you act, and if that's Sagittarius, you're gonna act broad perspective, like relatable to other people's feelings and the way they see things, and you're gonna have a broad perspective of how you see things and how you feel about things. So when you start to think and communicate and analyze this, you thinking and communicating and analyzing like practical things, like new ways of how to get to A to B, things that make sense, things that's in reality. So you are thinking about things that's in reality and expressing them in a spiritual way, putting a spiritual back into it, inspiration to it, you know what I'm saying, and expression to it. Like you see a person with a new car that you want, you may be more happy for them than they are for themselves, because it's like, yeah, like that's the energy I need to stay in, because that's what I'll be able to have by me staying in that energy. So these signs even know how to manifest their visions, you know what I'm saying, with the Mercury and Capricorn, because they're gonna think and communicate and analyze about initiating, creating new ways of how to think and practical things and things that's in reality. But they're gonna have like a optimistic spirit about it, like because of their actions, the way they act towards it. They're gonna the way they act that out is in an upbeat way. Like I might not got that now, but best believe I'm gonna have that in 2 weeks. I'm gonna have that in 3 weeks. And even though if they don't have it in 3 weeks, they still feel like they do got it, and then they end up eventually getting it. Like these are people like that. They add faith, they add practicality to their faith. They add realistic results to their inspiration. Things that a Sagittarius may be inspired to do. Say they may be inspired to do music, and then they Mercury is in Capricorn. Then they're gonna think and communicate about new ways of how to get from point A to point B. So instead of just going all outlandish with it, they putting themselves in all type of situations, in the behind the scenes situations of how to meet this person, or how to win over this person, or how to be in this group of people or whatever like that, to the point that they run into the right people in order to build with and initiate and create some new way of thinking and some practical way in order to get out their inspiration, to get out what they truly want to do, to get out in the public, or to get out in the grass and out in the open, or be a out open type person, a public type person. You know what I'm saying? In so many ways, or be a broadcaster, or be a teacher, or so many ways. You know what I'm saying? Be a person who know how to put life in a philosophical way, and have it in a thought that people can go by in their day-to-day life, to go by it. So you know what I'm saying? That's where you have the practical philosophers right here, when you have the Mercury and Capricorn as being a Sagittarius. You know how to take your inspirations and put it in a way that it could be helpful, or a crutch to someone, or even a crutch for yourself, and turn it into a business in some type of way. These are your teachers and stuff like that, and things of that nature. Now, well, people who own schools, Now, that's your three versions of philosophical types of Sagittarius, and this what makes Sagittarius philosophers. Flight bus, bitch, you know, for sure. Make sure I ain't forget nothing. Note, life, emotional philosopher, and practical philosopher. Goddamn, air.